Hey guys, the motor company has released a brand new special edition bike. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, Salty, welcome back to the channel. So, a lot of news in the influencer sphere about the new bike. What is it? Well, we'll tell you. It is the Harley-Davidson CVO Roadglide RR, which stands for Race Replica. And I will admit, my feelings are mixed. There's people out there that are just absolutely glazing this bike. Mostly influencers who got to ride it, you know, Harley ain't stupid. And there's some people out there that are absolutely crapping on it for some good reasons. So let's talk about it first of all. What is it? If you thought the CVO Roadglide ST wasn't enough, if it just didn't quite have enough oomph right out the box for you, this is as close, per the motor company, this is as close as you can get to a race spec bike that they run in the King of the Baggers series. And to be honest with you, it's got some cool kit on it. It's got a 131 non-VVT motor, so you're getting the big crate motor right out the jump with all the good tuning in it. It's got titanium exhaust, Akrapovic actually, which is a pretty well-known company for making race bike kit. They make good stuff if you're into the race bike circuit, you know, MotoGP and such. Full Öhlins race suspension, carbon fiber all over the place, custom aluminum mid controls, custom aluminum swing arm that has apparently been mined from a sheer block of billet, 200 pounds, that was carried out from a volcano. I'm making that last bit up. All that good stuff. It is pretty impressive, the kit you get. You get tuning, you get race, you get track plus, which is even more tracky, custom seat, the list goes on and on. Carbon fiber, everything. But it's still street legal. You still get a radio, you still get the full infotainment dash that you get from there, etc. The problem for a lot of people is that this comes in at the princely sum of $110,000 US dollars MSRP. The other thing is, this is an exclusive limited edition bike, which means 131 of them will be built. I wonder where they got that number from. So a quick Google search tells you that there are currently about 650 Harley-Davidson dealerships, give or take, in these United States of America. Oh, by the way, this bike is only available in America. Yeah? So, the likelihood of your dealership, unless you're in a big city that moves numbers, like one of them big old dealerships that pushes numbers down the street, is your small town dealership ain't even gonna sniff one of these things. It's a collector's item. Much like Super Bowl tickets, I'm pretty convinced most of them are sold well before the game, and most of these bikes I think are already spoken for. And that's the sad part, because it's like the ZR1 Corvette that the 65-year-old guy buys and drives to the Bob's Big Boy. It doesn't really push it. Thing never sees a track. It's a track tool, and it just kind of exists. And I think that's how the bulk of these bikes are going to be ridden, and how some of them are going to be stored. I guarantee you some of them are going to go and sit on a shelf or in some Jay Leno style garage for some rich dude and say, look, I have one of these. And maybe it gets ridden. Probably it doesn't. I don't think he's burning through a truckload of tires at the track. That's what I'm telling you. So, why am I so kind of meh? Well, one, on the plus side, it's a cool bike. I like the idea. They're swinging for the fences. They're doing a thing. This is like going to an auto show and seeing one of those really cool concept cars. Like, yeah, is it a little bonkers? Sure. Is it practical for the vast majority of people? Not even a little bit. But it's fun and it's cool and it's a flex and we can build this thing and we can homologate it and we can sell it. That's cool. I also think that there are some parts that are going to come out of this bike that I think will, they'll be in the aftermarket catalog. They pushed their development. I think some cool stuff, a lot of cool stuff in the touring space has come out of this King of the Baggers business, So, sweet, great idea. I don't know that there's such a huge demand for a 200-pound block of billet milled rear swing arm that is like made of unobtainium and it takes 12 days in a milling machine to make. Probably going to be a bit spendy. But there might be some really cool parts that come out of it. Innovation happens when you pressurize the system. The downside, it's $110,000, and that's MSRP. If there's a bidding war, if this thing takes off, and people want them, like rich people, caveat that, it could be $150,000. For $150,000, you could buy 3 CVO STs if my math is good. 3. It's a little nuts. I also kind of wish that they were going to do a special edition of something a little bit more approachable. I miss the anniversary models. They do them periodically. You know, a Grey Ghost Fat Boy, like the original Fat Boy, would have been cool as hell. I would have loved to see that. Hell, do the Arnold spec one from the movie. That would have been cool as hell too. Would have loved to see that. Maybe something with the Road King. I think like a Road King would have been cool. How about a Softail CVO? I think a CVO, like give the full CVO treatment to like the Lowrider ST, I think that would be pretty cool. And you'd be out the door for far less than $110,000. But I think that's where the disappointment lies. Why? I think the influencer sphere largely is like, yo, because they got to ride it. It feels cool. You're part of the cool kids club. I'm not. My channel's microscopic. But then there's also the haters gonna hate club, which hates on them and says, Harley, this is terrible, awful, the worst, harumph. I'm ambivalent. I think it's a cool looking bike. I'm gonna be putting pictures up out throughout this to look at all the different piece parts and everything else. I think it's a cool looking bike. I love that they're in the King of the Baggers race series. I love factory racing. Every car brand and every motor, everything motor has it innovated because of motorsport. As soon as there was a factory racing team, you get amazing product. Go see Ford versus Ferrari if you want, if you want to understand like that process. It's a movie. It's actually quite a good one, by the by. Ring, ring, ring. But so I'm happy about that. I feel like they're a little disconnected, and I feel like this kind of ties more to the I want to be a luxury brand more than our roots of being just a motorcycle company. I have a feeling that Indian will probably capitalize on this with some kind of, I would say budget, but they'll keep their price point. They will focus on their price point, and they'll work on some of their custom bike. They may start doing some custom bike stuff and trying to get in underneath there and say, hey, listen, we're a bike of the people. Whereas this is the motor company's going insane with their prices. Because that $110,000 is like, that's insane. You're not gonna buy that. No one I know was gonna buy that. No one I know saw that video drop yesterday when I'm filming this and blew a call into their dealership. And I actually was on a ride on my way to work, on my way home, excuse me, and I stopped at my local dealership, which is a decent-sized dealership, medium-sized dealership. And I jokingly asked one of the sales dudes there, and he's like, no, we're not even. And they have a good amount of CVOs. They sell some CVOs, and they get a fair amount of CVOs. So they get some product, but they're like, no, we're not going to see one of these things. No chance, paddles. So I think that on the plus, we're going to get some really cool kit out of this. I think there's going to be some innovation that's going to happen. On the downside, I think that it's just a bit out of touch. So let me know in the comments what you think. Please like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Really appreciate you helping me grow the channel there. Until next time, Salty. Peace.